Okay, it's 5:30. I'll call the meeting to order. I'm Bill Boylan. I'm the chairperson for the Utilities Committee. We'll have a roll call. Jason Franks.
Here.
Bryce Steiner.
Here.
All members of the committee are present. We have no visitors at this time. We are here to discuss two proposals for ordinance 2025-21 and ordinance number 2025-22. One is for a water rates adjustment and the other is for the sewage. So at this time we'll open the floor for discussion and we'll proceed on matters at hand.
Okay, thank you, Bill, for mentioning that. My biggest concern is, and I don't think our rates are out of line. In fact, when Mr. Davis said that the rates were cheaper than around, it is cheaper for higher usage people. But my concern is people who are older or may only have one person living in the house, our rates are actually quite high. So if you only use 1,000 gallons in a month, or in a quarter, because we go by quarters, we're going to pay quite a bit more than Paulding, Sherwood, Hicksville, Payne, or Woodburn. We're all higher than all of them. And that is my concern, is the people who try to conserve their water and by lowering their bill. So if you use 1,000 gallons on water and sewer combined in Antwerp, it's $188 for a quarter. But if you're in Paulding, it's only $104.67. If you're in Sherwood, it's $146. Hicksville is close to us at $183, but we are still the highest. Payne is $148 and Woodburn is $55. I made this publicly available, but if we would say, if somebody would use 4,500 gallons, that is where Antwerp and Sherwood meet, and that's where Sherwood starts to get higher, is right at 4,500. So these are just area towns, and if anybody wants to see it or wants to enter their own bill in, like Jan, how much do you think you guys use?
Oh, I don't know, Bryce.
Okay. But anyhow, the effective price per gallon, and that's the total bill. That's because that's what you pay. You pay the total bill. You don't pay, and that is your starting rate and your gallons. We are at 18 cents or about 19 cents a gallon if you use only 1,000 gallons. If you use say 4,500. Now we're down to 4.5 cents. So that is a really good rate. Now Paulding is significantly higher at that point. So if you use a lot of water, it benefits you financially. If you try to conserve, and that's the people who come to me and say, look, I'm older, I'm on a fixed income, that's who it's hurting right now with our current rate plan, because our
I just went offline on that.
I'm still recording, so I'll still post it and I'll share it. And that is my concern. I would like to see maybe a lower. Actually, what I would like to see is bill monthly. I think billing monthly would help keep more money coming in without it having such a hard input on everybody. Because instead of saving for 3 months and then all of a sudden it's this big, huge bill, now we can pay 3 smaller bills instead. But that would be one of my solutions to help. But the other thing is if we could just lower that initial threshold of the water bill and then increase the price per gallon, because I don't think we're like overall bad. I just think it's on the lowest users is where it's bad at.
We used to bill monthly, didn't we, years ago? And then they, it was Mike Roars, wanted to go this, like we're doing now, quarterly, because it was something about by the time people that were late paying it, shutting them off, and everything was running into, yeah.
I don't know. I do know that Brian Davis has stated he'd like to see us go monthly.
Monthly.
I know it's been brought up as far as in concern with landlords. If they have a tenant that's back behind
Yeah.
for 3 months, they don't realize it until they moved out. Now they're stuck with
They're stuck with
3-month
bill.
water and sewer bill.
Right, and that'd be a reason to go monthly then too. Yeah.
I don't know how it would affect a water clerk as far as hours, whether that had to be increased because it's gonna 3 times the paperwork.
Yeah.
You know, she's gonna have to.
Are all of our water meters upgraded to where they don't have to go and open them up and read them?
The last I talked, and this was this summer, I talked to one of the guys that was installing them, and he said at that time, they still had like 45 or so to go, and I don't know if they ever got to that point where they finished them up or not.
45 total to go? That's not bad.
But they didn't have the meters to time. That's
Oh.
what the holdup was. I don't know the circumstances now.
Okay.
Out of don't we have 700 water users in town?
Well, I think we're
We've only got
close to that.
45 that don't have the new meters, that's,
I think that's what it, I'm not gonna take my life off, I believe that's
Yeah.
what it reads when we talked to him.
Yeah, I would assume they got finished only because it hasn't been brought up,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Anybody else have thoughts on that water rate?
Yeah, my concern, it's not so much the raising of the water per thousand, but it's the initial fee that keeps raising with it as far as your usage. You know, your start out fee, it's up to 105 now, I think, for people that live outside the corporation limits. And initially, when that was started, it was like, what, $70 when they first started that, because they said we were too low on the rates.
Oh, we were much lower than that. I think we were like 35 until 2023. It actually does say in our what
I don't know if
it
it goes
was.
back that far or not. What I seen it start out like $77.
Let's see.
This is from 2019 forward is where this goes.
Yeah, that sounds about right, that we would have been reviewing it in 2019 and then again in 22 or
2019
23.
it was 35 minimum,
Right.
105 for taps outside.
So we went from 35 to 105 per quarter,
Yeah.
which was a significant boost. And that's where my concern is. I'd like to see it lower, but then the cost per gallon higher. That way, people get charged for the water they use rather than just to be connected.
So I don't know what the answer would be, whether we freeze that amount that they're paying now for the, what they call a surcharge, I guess it is, for what it was previously. Because it's different for each, for your home tax exempt ones.
Most people are on the in-town rate. There's very few that have the in-town homestead. I'm not even sure quite how you get that, but most people are at the 105 surcharge for water, and then the 77.25 surcharge for sewer. And the only thing we're proposing to go up is the water and sewer per 1,000 gallon rate.
Right.
And if you just keep in mind, if you use 1,001 gallons, that puts you to the 2,000.
Yeah, we don't have to break down per
Yeah,
hundred.
we don't break it down per gallon, it's per 1,000
Well, I think
gallons.
that's the way it is with other villages. Once you go to the 1 gallon higher than their 100,000 gallon, falling into the next grade.
Right, once you cross that threshold, you're now up into the next 1,000 gallon rate. What exactly those numbers should be, that's something this committee should decide, but that would be my suggestion, is that we pull that down. So if we would make it, say $8 per 1,000, and then lower that surcharge down, that would significantly help the small households.
8,000. That's quite a jump from what you're proposing right now. 637 would be the new jump from 607 to 637. And that's for homestead tax exempt.
Per 1,000, yeah.
Yeah, per 1,000 gallon.
So if somebody uses 5,000 gallons, it might be only going up $1.50.
What are we at now for the first 1,000 gallons in Antwerp?
The 105 is the surcharge for general, almost everybody. And then we are proposing, 587 is where we're currently at, per 1,000 gallons. And that's what this formula is in the spreadsheet, so we can put it exactly in if you're...
587, what do you mean?
Okay, so in addition to the surcharge, the monthly surcharge, our quarterly surcharge of 105,
Yes.
$5.87 is what we charge per 1,000 gallons in addition to the
Okay.
minimum. And then the sewer on that is $77.25 per quarter plus $1.90 per 1,000.
After, right?
No, in addition to, so that, hold on, you're right, after 6,000 gallons, yes, you're right. So that gets you your first 6,000 gallons, and I think most people probably fall within that.
So what is it that you're proposing?
Well, my proposal is that we lower this monthly surcharge and increase the price per gallon to help out the people who have who are trying to conserve their water, and they're successfully doing it, but their bill is still high. Essentially, the people who use the water would pay more for the water, even though they're still going to get a better break overall. But the cost per gallon would drop for the lower people, lower users.
And you're proposing to lower it to what?
Raise it, you're gonna raise the price of gallon. You said up to $8 was your?
Just something to suggest is 8 per 1,000 gallons, and then maybe lower this to say 75 a quarter.
Should have 105.
And let me print out what Paulding had to do. And Paulding had to raise their rates because they had to put in a new water plant. And they really raised their rates. So I didn't give that one to you, but I will.
So my first question would be, making these changes, does it affect in any way any state funding that we might get? Are we above the threshold by making those changes?
And I think that is a good question, because RCAP is who we're supposed to be going through. And when you talk to Hicksville, and I talked to Sherwood and Payne, RCAP is the one who sets the rates. So I contacted them and asked about Antwerp, and they told me that Antwerp never contacted them. They help get grants, They help get all of this stuff, and they will set our rates appropriately. And I would actually suggest, maybe before we do any of this, contact them, bring them in, because they get grants. And if they'll help us do all of this at the same time, I would say that it's not a cost, that it's provided by the state. And
You're
they're
saying RCAP?
RACAP, RCAP.
Okay.
Yep. And we should be using them to come up with setting our rates. That includes all of our rates for corporate, non-corporate, household, everything.
Yeah, it was, well, what I understood from the village administrator, this proposal was just a guesstimation. He thought that'd be a nice round figure. Well, I would like to see a comparison of what we're paying versus what it actually costs to produce the water and the treatment of water for both sewage and
Right.
water to drink. Rather
Yes.
than just, well, let's just go ahead and stick a dartboard at 5%. I don't.
Well,
like
and,
that.
and I think you'll see that our cost on water and sewer are actually quite a bit lower than what we actually collect.
It
And
has to be in order to maintain the personnel and
with the
everything else.
anticipation that we're gonna have to get a new or completely refurbished water plant.
So what you're proposing, you wanna go from $105 per quarter surcharge. You wanna lower that by $30, go down to $75. There's 700
I
people
think we
paying.
have 700
Right.
water users.
Yeah,
So what you're doing right off the bat is you're reducing the income we're getting for water by 84 grand a year.
Okay, now, these are just numbers, I am not, these are actually not proposals, because if I did, I'd have it written up. I'm saying that we need to do this together, and this is just throwing, like you said, a dart on the wall. I would just like to see that initial amount come down and the per gallon go up, so it's more fair for everybody. That's the water rates right there that our Paulding is currently charging. And I think that probably fits our situation with what we're coming up to. The problem is I don't think anybody wants Paulding's rates unless you're a low user. Because Paulding's user rates are
Thanks, Bill.
basically per, you're gonna pay a lot more if you're a higher user. And I mean a lot more. And this is where Brian said that we are the lowest. When you compare it to Paulding, as a high user, absolutely correct. As a low user, Paulding is much better. So I'm just saying we should probably try to get in line. But I would be more than happy to say, let's get RCAP involved. So we can, one, get grants, and two, they can help us set our rates because they're experts in this.
Well, the next elephant in the room is this is supposed to be completed by the end of the year for next year's rates. So if we bring in somebody else, it's not going to be done before December 31st or our last council meeting in December.
Right, and I'm going to be off council. So I would like to see that our utility meeting does keep meeting to keep on top of this. So before we run these numbers, because I don't think there's any way we can come up with numbers today. I mean, we could, all you guys are smart. But this EPA report that I handed out to you is our inspection for August. And we didn't get a copy of this that I know of, but it talks about what is actually going on with our water plant. It's inspected regularly, and it has suggestions, and I think we do those. It is talking about getting a emergency generator grant that so far the EPA says we have not applied for. Hopefully they just made a mistake on that, and we have. But we should be getting that line item 11 on there. And we should have applied for that grant. It's $50,000 for the water plant backup generator. We need to.
Oh, definitely.
I thought we did. There was a generator that we applied for a grant for. Wasn't it the water plant?
We got them for the fire and EMS a while back. The water plant, this is a fairly new report from August, and I think we need to make sure that we're on top of that, of getting that. Which brings me to another thing. I would like to see that each meeting, and this is going to be more for council, that we have all the grants we've applied for, all the grants we've received, that spreadsheet that I was showing you guys about how the Village of Payne manages all their grants. I would like to see us do that too, so that way the council is informed of what's going on. And if we can get them, what stage are we at? I would like to see that happen.
I would too.
And yeah, whether it's roads, water plants, anything.
Yeah, we're under the assumption we're applying for everything we can get. That may not necessarily be the case.
Might not be happening.
We're in the dark on it, we don't know.
Right. And I don't want you guys, us, to be in the dark anymore. But overall, I do think that I would like to see us, whenever we get these EPA reports too, that the water committee receives them, and not just assuming that we should know these things, because we don't. This is really our only information that we have. And as far as what I posted online as possibly not needing replaced, actually just came from this report. There's nothing else. I don't know enough about it. That's the only thing I know is from this report. The engineer who wrote up our 2022 grant request was specifically trying to replace the whole thing. So it was written in that way, rather than remodel it for maybe $1 million or something. I think it could be done, but
Yeah, we were all under the assumption that it was a have to case of
yeah.
replacement rather than just upgrading in certain areas.
One more thing, Jason wasn't in here earlier when we were just yapping, but when I was talking to Sherry over at the Village of Sherwood, the village administrator, she said they do not pay for any engineering costs. The way it works is, for them and their engineer, is he gets paid out of the grant and the grant only. The town does not pay any upfront costs for engineering. And I said, on just this, or she says on everything. If it needs engineered, the grant has to be approved. And we get the money, that's how the engineer gets paid. I said, I like that idea. So she gave me the name of the engineer. And I would like to hopefully go down that route.
Yes, I definitely think we need to too. I've heard stories about how that got paid for because of GM and all that. And it's kind of hard to believe they're getting that much tax dollars from GM being in Defiance County to pay for their upgrades.
Yeah. And she said how many times they've received the $1 million grants now for their whole downtown, which looks amazing now. If you drive through Sherwood on 127, I figured I'd go and ask the person who got it done. Okay, any other?
Well, what I'd like to know, we're going to go to council this week, next week, this Wednesday. What's our proposal? Because they're going to ask for a recommendation from our committee. What's our?
Well, I guess
you can't say stop until we figure out something better.
Do we have to have it for the beginning of the year? I mean, could we come in and say, RCAP said, 'cause what I would hate to do is we raise rates, we get RCAP to come in, and then 2 months later they say, well, this is what you need to change it to.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be on January 1st, or is it just because it's convenient?
I don't think I don't know if there's any ordinances that it is.
Right,
I think they do it more for their budget
Budget.
side of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know why we couldn't suggest that we put a freeze on our current rates until we were able to contact RCAP and find
Right.
out what their recommendation is, whether that's just guessing at what we need to have.
Right.
This RCAP, where are they out of? What are they?
Okay, when I look up RCAP, they take care of all of Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Indiana, part of Indiana. And that is, it's part of the Great Lakes Consortium for the water facilities. And that's who all the different towns are telling me I need to go to.
And that's Sherwood and Payne and they're
Yes,
using them
and
right now.
Hicksville. Yeah,
Hicksville.
whenever, yep. And I'm gonna pull them up here. Rates, Rural Community Assistance Program. And I guess I'm not 100% sure where they're out of. RCAP Solutions, I believe. But that is who we need to, I believe, get on board with us. Or we need to get on board with them.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a fee in relationship to that, or what it is.
I was told by one person that it might cost a little bit. I was told by other town officials that it didn't cost anything. It's specifically done by the state to ensure that we can get our water rates where they need to be for everybody.
So what do you think, would that be appropriate to ask for a temporary freeze on our rates until we're able to research this honestly?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
How about you, Mayor? Is your consensus? Because I haven't even had a chance to read it. I can't say, yeah, this, but I want to before.
Yeah,
Well, when you start comparing the other towns, and Jason, I'll be glad to send you the spreadsheet that I made up that where you can insert the number and it'll show you what the other towns are charging. And to see that, you kind of just think, something doesn't look quite right. Both ends, just it's so cheap on the high usage end and so high on the low usage end. And that's what I'd just like to get balanced, just for everybody in town. I would completely agree with let's get these guys involved and then get set up something official.
So what about spec temp? That was the other thing we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So my question,
Yeah.
and I thought about this as I read through what you had brought up, and I didn't look at this, but when we first started giving them discounts, and I think it's standard that you give your high users a better rate than your low users. It's not the case everywhere, but that's pretty much standard. But when we started doing that with them, I'm just wondering what the difference was between, what kind of discount it was initially. And like over time, as the rates have gone up, is their discount even greater than it was when it first started? Like, are we giving them a better deal than it started out to be? Or, where does that compare?
Real short.
I really only know, one for the ordinance, but their price per gallon since we passed this in '23 has dropped in 20 till now. And the reason
It
is,
expires 2026, December 31st.
right, but the reason the price per gallon has dropped is because they've gone from using 6 million gallons in 2022, and in this year alone, they're already up to 9 million on October 1st. So in that first 10 months, they're already up 50% more than they were before.
Yeah.
And if we were paying,
But that would be the case that would be the case no matter what they used. Their price would be going down. That's the way our rates are set up.
Right.
The more you use, the better. So that's the same for everybody. Their usage, if their usage is going up that much, that would alarm me. Like, can we handle it?
And that,
I mean,
see, you just hit on something else that is, when people, I am concerned that if we would get a whole brand new water plant, $8 million, would we still have the same problems where we have sulfury areas and bleach areas throughout the whole town?
why are you concerned about that?
Well, because we don't have full loops in town. I think the water lines actually are kind of designed poorly.
Could be.
And I don't think, but then the other issue is I believe that when the water shuts off on Friday night at Paragon, and all of a sudden we have this big drop in demand, but our entire water usage, or when we insert the chlorine, it's dripped in at a consistent rate.
Mhm.
All of a sudden now on Monday morning you have this huge rate going up. So we have the demand just skyrocketing. And if you'll notice on Facebook, when people complain about their bleach and sulfury days, they're fairly consistent during
Yeah.
the week.
I think you brought this up at council meeting.
I don't know if I did or not,
I
but
believe you did.
my memory's not good enough.
Well, when this contract was implemented, now this is,
Is that 2017?
yeah, the contract was 2017. This only goes back to 2019. Our rate for the tax exempt, which is our lowest status we have for homestead,
Yeah.
at that time was $3.14 per 100,000. Their contract was set at $3.25 at that time.
So what we have here is the one that's putting the most demand and burden on the system is also paying the least. So if we extrapolate out the first 10 months of the year on their bill this time, we see how we are going extrapolated out to 12 months. We're going to lose $114,000 that would have been paid by any other organization, because it'd be one thing if we had a tiered system where any other company could get those rates, but we don't have it set up that way.
But that's consistent with how we have it structured. It's not that they're paying the least, they're getting the best rate because they're using the most.
Well, the problem with that is, they are getting the best rate, but it costs the village the same amount of money to get the water ready for them, and it costs the village the same amount of money to treat the sewage, just as if you're flushing your toilet. There's no difference in how the water comes from us or back to us. It's all put in one big batch and run through our system.
Well, and just one more point on that is, we have a special rate for them that they would get they would already get the cheapest rate, even at our current out-of-town rates because of their usage. But we gave them an extra special rate that's where we're losing the $114,000. They're paying $44,000, and it would be actually about $150,000 or so, or more than that actually. But that's where we've got money left on the table, especially when we are in need of a new or massively revamped water system. Now, if they would say, well, we could come into the village and start paying village taxes, it'd be one thing, but it would take 245 workers making an average of $40,000 a year just to cover that difference in RETA taxes. And they don't have 245 workers in town. They don't have 245 workers in both plants combined. And without getting that money, well, it's not helping the town, and the residents end up paying 60% of the water, while this company outside of town is using most of it. And I have a hard time thinking that we can't annex them and we can't charge them the rate that everybody else outside of town pays. Like, you can't, In a contract, you would normally, both parties get benefit. You know, I would get a benefit because of the discounted rate, they would get a benefit because we pay taxes now. Both of us would get a benefit. Right now, the only benefit's going to one side.
They're also the biggest customer. And I'm not saying I'm pro,
Right.
big company over our residents, but I'm saying they're paying most of our bills for our water plant. Yeah, they are. How much are they paying? How much are
If
they
you're saying
paying a year?
if they're paying the plurality, you're correct. If you're saying they're paying the majority, they're not.
Say that again, Bryce.
If they're paying if we're trying to say they're paying the plurality, they're the highest paying user. That's correct. They are not paying the majority. The residents are paying the
Okay.
majority.
You're splitting hairs.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. I'm saying they're the biggest customer. They should get the best rates, which they do. So
Why-
it's not a that we're not benefiting. Both sides are benefiting. We're getting all the revenue from the water from them. They're getting a good rate from us. It is a win-win. It's just, is it on our side? Are we giving them too much of a discount? They should have the best rate. They're the biggest user.
Well, they would
You
have.
disagree with that or not?
If we charge them the rate that is on our paperwork, they are getting the best rate.
Right. Yeah. I
But we're
got
not
that.
we gave them their own contract.
Yep, I know.
So
That's what I'm
are
asking
you okay?
That's what I'm asking you. That's the question. Are you saying you want them to go to the rates that are on that we charge everybody else?
Yes.
They would still get the best rate.
They would
because
still
they're-
get the best price per
Yes.
gallon.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly.
That's what you want.
Yes.
Okay.
I think if we are talking about if this is for economic development purposes, then we should give every business that, because every business is economic development.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
But if they would come into the village of Antwerp and be annexed in, we could annex the industrial park. That would be a win for Antwerp. This is a loss for Antwerp. Because we have an $8 million water plant and they're paying $40,000 a year, doesn't cut it.
I don't remember it being 8 million. I remember it being 5.2.
It's up to 8 now. It's
up to
eight.
Brian Davis has told us multiple times it's up to 8.
We tried to annex years ago though out there, and
That's
the
right.
businesses out there fought us.
That's
They
right.
did not want to be annexed.
And that is why we
Curiel.
have to charge the rate to cover that. They don't want to pay the town taxes. I don't blame them.
Well, Curiel Township doesn't want to release them because that's part of their.
Then they should give them the break. Maybe Cariel Township would want to pay for their extra water usage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where we're at now. I'm not saying that let the other guy
No,
pay
no.
your bill.
Good luck with that.
I know.
Do we know what the reasoning was why they got the special contract? Like, when did that start?
It looks to me like it was 17. I don't know if that's when Paragon changed names. When it went from Spec Temp to Paragon, I don't know, or Atwood. I'm not sure
Yeah,
the order of sequence here. But the original is dated 17, and I think that's still on the website.
Well, yeah, I just pulled it up. The contract right here is 2023-7.
That's right, yeah.
It's when this one was.
Right.
It's not, but it only goes back to 2023. So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
17 is the number of the ordinances for that year that this was rolled up.
Our water plant is currently rated for 0.667 million gallons a day, according to the Ohio EPA. When, in 2008, when we applied for the license, which I've got, that was through Pogemeyer then? Remember
Probably.
Pogemeyer? And I've got it here from the website, and it talks about 3 wells, and well 3, well 4, and well 5. And if anybody wants a copy of that sheet, I'd be glad to print it out for you. But it's basically the EPA license that authorizes it to now be good to go. October 8th, 2008. So. Those
Yeah,
are my
we think-
concerns.
Personally, we've got issues with our water plant situation. Either we need to upgrade it like this report says, or replace it. We've got water lines that are collapsing on almost a weekly
Weekly
basis.
basis,
Guys
yeah.
are out fixing them.
Yep.
And the revenue we have currently coming in for that is not taking care of the,
Right, we're not getting new water lines.
yeah, we're not able to fix anything
Yeah, I think we're at maintenance
Yeah.
level right now.
Probably.
unless we can get grants. We're not going anywhere, so we're gonna have to come up with a means someplace to pay for this.
Right.
Because the money's not growing on the tree out back. I looked out City Hall, I didn't see any money tree coming up.
I think somebody cut that tree down.
Yeah,
If there
I
is
mean,
one, I want a start of it.
Yeah.
but with what you're proposing, you wanna knock 84 grand right off the top per year.
No, that's not
And
my
then you-
proposal. I'm just
Well-
making suggestions of how I would like to see it work.
Okay.
That's it. That is, if I was proposing it, it would be in writing and I'd have the numbers to back it up. I just didn't want to waste the time if everybody thought. My opinion is let's just go to RCAP. I don't want to put out any rates because I am not the expert on that. I'm just a data numbers person.
Yeah, we can throw numbers around, we have no idea what it actually costs the village to produce a gallon of, 100 or 1,000 gallons of water, nor do we know what it costs the village to treat 1,000 gallons of water. So, to say, well, that's an unfair rate, or they might be well above what it costs us. I have no idea what we have expensive. And I'm sure all of our chemicals in the last couple of years have gone up considerable to do this type of treatment.
Yeah.
So without getting hard figures, we're just guessing at it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to get with this RCAP, and we need to get our village administrator, see if they can come up with any type of numbers for us, what we currently are spending on both.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a chance to partner with anybody with buying the chemicals to get a better discount on the chemicals that we buy. Like, do we partner with Paulding or?
Well, what you're saying right there, Tim Copsey, over the last 5 years, has been trying to push Paulding County to merge their water systems together. And at that time, it was supposed to cost like $2 million a mile to run lines to all the different towns. And that would be a huge expense. But I was wondering, what if we would combine under a corporate umbrella of all the water plants as one entity that operates them all, and the town councils themselves, who aren't experts in water,
Right.
would share equipment to maintain, because Mr. Kennedy's not getting any younger. Where if we could partner with Paulding, Antwerp, Payne, Oakwood, our 5 main districts, and put them under one group, and we have just water guys who that's their job.
We kind of have that problem now with our electricity, our street lights.
Yeah,
They have one person who installs them for the area, including Van Wert. Well, when we contact them, well, we're gonna be months down the road because the guy's tied up in Van Wert. You start going with that type of system and you're
Yeah.
sharing equipment, that could tie up, somebody's got a major problem. They got that backhoe tied up that we need today and we can't get it for a week. It's not gonna work. That's
well,
why-
and that's perfectly valid. I didn't know that, but at the same time, I would think that a bigger group could get bigger grants,
Yeah.
could get more knowledgeable grants.
We still had our individuality, just
I'm not,
because our
and I'm-
circumstances are different from Payne's.
Yeah.
Our
Right.
needs are different,
Right, no, you're not wrong. I'm just thinking that, okay, for cost-wise, employees, less employees, total employees, ones that are trained better, put them on one umbrella, and
It's not a bad idea.
just an option of experts, and let them handle that kind of stuff, because I would assume there'd be more knowledge there and more equipment, and if we pooled it together. It's just an idea.
Right. That's one's gonna be a tough one to fly, because you got so many different village administrators and all the constables, and they're all gonna see not everything eye to eye all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Tim kind of spun his wheels on that, and I just wonder, well, maybe corporately, if we could get them under one umbrella first, because I think that, you know, any place that, if we can get water out to where we need it to be, these places are gonna grow. Whether it is Paulding getting it to Cecil for that exit, or us, you know, getting it out here, whatever's going off on there, we gotta make sure our water system's ready. So,
Yeah, like you said, I don't know how many gallons we pump average on a monthly basis versus what our plant's capable of.
it's in that one report you got.
Well, like I said, you know, I hadn't had a chance to see that stuff, I just got it.
But no, that one that Brian Davis sent you, it is in there. It's just kind of hard to read.
Yeah, you might well look at jigsaw puzzles to look at that.
Yeah. But as far as this week, I'd be fine with telling them, let's move forward with contacting RCAP and see if we can get our rates and some of our engineering stuff better. Because all these towns gave me who they like to use for grants. And I think we can do better.
So where's this RCAP out of?
I'm not 100% sure.
You said Hicksville, Sherwood, and Payne all use them, correct?
Every town I've talked to uses them. Every single one. And I can't tell you which one told me first. And I'm not even sure what their official website is, because there's numerous places that have the same logo and the same information. But I know it looks like it might be part of the Great Lakes Community Action Partnership, but maybe that's just another group that uses them too.
Does Paulding use them?
Dave Birch, yes. That's how they had to set their rates to get their water plant done.
Paulding uses RCAP too?
Mhm.
Somebody needs to contact them and get some information as far as how we
Yeah.
can contact the right group. So
Yeah.
I'm not contacting somebody that's, we've got the same business name.
Well, I did email them and they emailed me back. And
This RCAP?
I do have their phone number here. I'm sure I do. Because I was just trying to figure out what do we need to do? Because this stuff setting rates just feels like we're throwing darts in the dark.
We are, it's just, we need some rhyme and reason for what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're dealing with people's money, it's not just us, it's the whole town.
Okay. So I have a Nathan Davis, and he's the Ohio State Manager, and he's out of Fremont, Ohio.
He's with RCAP.
Yep. And his phone number is 1-800-775-9767. And he has an alternate non-800 number of 740-947-1952. And I asked him, and he says, "Thank you for your inquiry. Our records indicate that Ohio RCAP has not worked with Antwerp on a rate analysis."
What's his title? You said Nathan Davis is what?
It says Ohio State Manager.
State manager. Okay.
And then he goes on, he says, "not at least in the recent past."
So the steps as far as dealing with this RCAP, does that need to be an approval through the mayor? I can't see the council having approved contact. It was,
Maybe we could bring it up, because we only got a meeting in 2 days.
right. Well,
Maybe we could just get the
zoning
blessing.
meeting 2 days, isn't it? No, we already had it.
We got
Yeah,
council
it was
meeting
past-
2 days.
Yeah, council meeting this
Council meetings
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Right.
So maybe we can just get the blessing of the council. I'm not sure if we need a resolution or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I'm asking, you know, what's the proper way to do this? Village administrator, I would guess,
I would
would be the one
guess.
should proceed with it, because he's the man that knows what's going on. But I don't know.
Yeah. At the meeting, we'll ask Brian about that. So I presented everything I want to present.
Well, I appreciate it, Bryce. I know you put a lot of time into this,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it definitely shows.
I just want to get our water system fixed.
Yeah, you and every other person in this town.
Yeah.
It's not just a few people wanting some solutions to our problems.
Yeah. I know it's several different approaches, you know, between money, between getting it done, water lines, but I think we can do it. We just got to stay on top of these engineers and grants.
So, is everyone good with concluding the meeting now, and then
Sure.
we'll send it to council Wednesday?
Yep.
So all in
I'll make
favor of
motion to adjourn if you need to.
adjourned at
6:23.